Member for Mildura.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. I don't generally believe in mercy rules in sport, but gee whiz, if we could have called one in then. Let me address a few things first. The unemployment rate, when we talk about jobs, the member for Albert Park got hung up on that for a little while. Victoria's had the highest unemployment rate 6 months running. Wow. There's all little bits of information, facts, not just information, facts, that some will take what works for them and leave what doesn't. The other thing I wanted to address straight off the bat, Deputy Speaker, is the member for Bentley's contribution. He referred to the member for Mornington's barbecue quip. What is barbecue conversation? The member for Bentley might be served very well by attending a few social barbecues, and I won't say I got personally offended because I don't offend easily, but I did note that he said that the men would be out there flipping the sausages whilst the women are inside making the salad. Now, Acting Speaker, I would hazard a guess, given that I've been shown nothing but the utmost respect by the men on this side of the House since I got into this place almost 2 years ago, I would hazard a guess, Acting Speaker, that if I asked any man on this side to make a salad, they would.
Order.
See? I just think for that side of the House that talks about gender equality, misogyny and male chauvinist, I'm not even quite sure what that was, but gee whiz, I mean double standards. Anyway, let's talk about other double standards. There's been lots of talk from that side of the House today, which talks about waste and they're not talking about waste, they're talking about cuts. And what are we going to cut? First of all, probably a few of the backbench is what we're going to cut first, and then it will be waste. The member for Murray Plains spoke about not having a statue for someone that put this state in the dire economic situation that it is in. We have had, when we talk about Victoria being open for business, what an absolute load, to quote the member for Nepean, what an absolute load of bollocks. I was one of those small business owners that was put out of business during COVID, and that's one of the reasons I'm in here today. So don't tell me that Victoria's open for business. Those of us that live in border towns, Deputy Speaker, can see every day business is leaving the state in droves. But you know what's really sickening about this? They will go over to New South Wales because they can. It's right over there. Because there is no major hospitals on the northern part of the state, on the New South Wales side, within safety's distance, they live and work and set up their businesses, pay tax revenue to New South Wales, meanwhile sending their kids to school in Victoria. They're using our hospitals, our healthcare system. So they're using all of our public services. Meanwhile, that tax revenue, because they cannot do business in Victoria because it's too hard, is all going to New South Wales. And you know why, Acting Speaker? Because it's much easier to do business over there than it is in Victoria. Not only that, the member for Lowan and I border South Australia. Again, we can see them jumping the border to South Australia. I mean, come on. South Australia. No, I mean, I don't even want to visit there. But my husband's business operates out of South Australia because it's so hard to do business in Victoria. It is so when I say the member for Mornington made a really good point about barbecue conversations, it would serve members on the other side very well to just go and have a chat to people at a barbecue, go and have a coffee with them, hang out and actually talk to real people. Because those of us that live in the real world and have done for most of our lives understand the landscape of business and what communities are going through. We understand it better than obviously those on the other side. Now, when we talk about the lack of budget transparency, I mean, when we're hiding budget contingencies and we're not giving $76 billion worth of contingencies when we are paying, what, $17.8 million in debt today. You give me 3 months, that builds an entire new Mildura-based public hospital, which we desperately need now. It would. You give me 1 day, there's an extended emergency ward. We are so desperate because all of those people in New South Wales, just on the other side of the river, who've left because it's either too hard to build, too hard to develop, too hard to do business, are coming to our emergency room. That kind of waste is what we will cut. And that's what this announcement today was about budget transparency. Because you know what? At the end of the day, real people who live in the real world just want a bit of honesty. They want to know where their money's being spent. They actually want to know that. And if you take, again, that interest repayment every day. And yet barbecues, may I also add, we need gas for barbecues, even if they are inside. We need gas for that. So, and you need to be able to turn them on. But there is a culture of reckless waste and budget blowouts, and that has been made abundantly clear. 2 ears, 1 mouth, they should be used in that order. The government actually needs to listen to the real people and talk about and listen to what the real people are saying, because Victorians are paying the price for Labor's financial mismanagement every single day, and they will be for generations. My kids will be, my grandkids will be, my great-grandkids will be. That's what this announcement is about today. It is skyrocketing. It is out of control. And for those on the other side to talk about how things are all smiles and rainbows is ridiculous. Like the member for Murray Plains, let's go back and talk about the Murray Basin Rail Project. That's where, and that was a few years ago now, where $600 million was wasted on the Murray Basin Rail Project, so that we now have a longer train that takes longer to get to port than we started with. That doesn't make any sense. Surely common sense at some point has got to prevail. But I fear those on the other side don't even know how to spell it. So we're going to be waiting at least another 2 years for that to occur. Look, there are so many things that you could talk about when it comes to financial mismanagement. We could talk about the 55 new or increased taxes. And what I have spoken about in droves this week is those like Indulge Apartments, who are an operation who manage apartments in different locations. They own them. They are short-term executive-style apartments, and they are going to be slugged with 7.5% increased tax. They are worried. Those of us in tropical North Victoria have a booming tourism sector, and people like Sarah and Simon Cox, who run Indulge Apartments, are really scared. This is a small business. Business is just so hard, particularly small business in this state, and I know that. I know that firsthand, because the poor policy decisions of the Andrews Labor government and now the Allan Labor government are exactly what put me and many like me out of business during COVID. It is just and post-COVID. And guess what? They don't care. They don't care. When you've got over 150,000 businesses closing down, that's not Victoria's open for business. That is, Victoria is shutting down for business so that the Allan Labor government can have a say in everything. And what people actually want is for the government to get out of their way so they can just live their lives. But right now, that we are in incredible financial debt. We're in dire straits, and it's all because the Labor government cannot manage money, and Victorians are paying the price, and they will do for generations. So I commend the member for Sandringham on this MPI.